Good morning, members of the Asia-Pacific Regional Network on Early Childhood. My name is Dr. Kidong Park. I'm the WHO representative in Vietnam, in this country. As the head of the country office, as head of the WHO country office of the hosting country, I warmly welcome you to Ha Noi, the capital city of Vietnam. It is my great pleasure to talk to you on clean air for children's health. At the 2019 Asia-Pacific Regional Conference on Early Childhood Development, I chose this topic. Actually, you chose this topic because I believe you believe clean air is an essential components for health and development of the children, especially children in early childhood stage. Can I have some modern techniques? Yes. Okay. I would first tell you the latest scientific evidence on impact of air pollution on children's health, which was recently reviewed by WHO expert. And then I will then update you latest WHO recommendation how to bring clean air to children. Yeah. Air pollution may not be visible. However, it can be deadly. Air pollution is accountable for 29% of all deaths from lung cancer, 24% of the deaths from stroke, 25% of the deaths from heart disease, and 43% of deaths from lung disease. So we should call air pollution as invisible and silent killer. Though air pollution affects everybody, today I must tell you that children are at greater risk on the impact of air pollution than adults. WHO expert argues the reason as the following. First, children's lung, children's organ, children's brain are immature. These are still maturing. Hence, children are quite vulnerable to inflammation and then other damages caused by pollutants. Second, children breathe faster than adults. Hence, they intake more air than adults, more pollutants than adults. Third, children have a longer life expectancy than adults. So latent disease mechanism related to air pollution have more chance to become a disease. There are several more arguments from the point of the behavioral aspect and environmental aspect. Children live closer to the surface, where some pollutants are at peak level at children's height than adult height. Children may spend longer time outside because they like playing and engaging with other children, and that air quality of that space might be quite polluted. More importantly, newborns and then young infants, they spend most of their time indoors, and they are very susceptible to the household air pollution. We call it HAP. And children spend much time near their mother, especially early childhood. While mothers are cooking while mothers are cooking with polluted fuels and polluted devices. WHO argues that air pollution is global children's health issue. Globally, WHO estimates that 93% of children and 630 million children under 5 are exposed to polluted air. WHO further argued that this burden of air pollution is heavier in low and middle income countries than high income countries. Almost every children, 98% of the children living in cities in low and middle income countries are exposed to polluted air. It is just 52% if we estimate this value in high income countries. In children, air pollution can cause disease in brain, disease in lung. WHO estimates that 570,000 children under 5 are caused, that the deaths of the 570,000 deaths of children under 5 are related to air pollution. This includes indoor air pollution, household air pollution, outdoor air pollution, ambient air pollution, and secondhand smoke. If we expand the scope to all children, nearly 1 million children die due to pneumonia every year. Almost half of these deaths are related to air pollution. Air pollution can also get the stage for the problems later in life. I will explain you further in detail about the recent research findings on impact of air pollution on children's health. First, air pollution can affect children's health even before their birth. There is strong evidence that maternal exposure to ambient microparticles is associated with low birth weight. There is also growing evidence that maternal exposure to fine microparticles, so-called PM2.5, PM10, increase the risk of the premature birth. There is compelling evidence of the association between air pollution, particularly from exposure to microparticles and toxic gases, and infant mortality. Air pollution affects children's brain. There is strong evidence that exposure to ambient air pollution, AAP, can negatively affect children's mental development, brain development. A growing body of the research suggests that both prenatal and postnatal exposure to air pollution can influence the development of the behavioral disorder, such as autism spectrum disorder, ASD, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder in children. Air pollution affects children's lungs. There is robust evidence that exposure to air pollution damages children's lung function and impedes their lung function growth, even at lower levels of exposure. There is a substantial evidence that exposure to ambient air pollution, outdoor air pollution, AAP, increase the risk of the children for developing asthma, and that breathing pollutants exacerbate childhood asthma as well. Numerous studies offer compelling evidence that exposure to ambient air pollution, AAP, and household air pollution, HAP, increase the risk of the acute low respiratory infection, ALRI, including bronchitis, pneumonia. There is also clear, consistent evidence on association between ambient air pollution exposure and occurrence of the otitis media in children. Air pollution can cause also cancers in children. There is a substantial evidence that exposure to traffic-related air pollution is associated with increased risk of the childhood leukemia. Several studies have found association between prenatal exposure to ambient air pollution, outdoor air pollution, and higher risk of the retinoblastoma and leukemia in children. Finally, exposure to air pollution in children may result in poor health outcome in later stage of their life, adults. There is clear, compelling evidence of the significant association between exposure to air pollution and the range of the adverse health outcomes in adults: stroke, heart disease, chronic lung disease. Evidence suggests that prenatal exposure to air pollution can predispose individuals to cardiovascular disease later in life. So we believe, WHO believes that air pollution poses a serious health to children. As such, WHO recommends the following to bring clean air to children. The most important recommendation I will tell you today is that we all have a part to play in protecting children from dirty air. Air pollution can be fought on many fronts, such as home, doctor's clinic, institution, municipality, national governments, schools, global community. I believe Asia-Pacific Regional Network can have a role to fight against air pollution. You will have a role to bring clean air to air pollution. There are many recommendations made by WHO. Some are quite technical. However, some are easy to follow by general public. I'll conclude my presentation by saying 6 ways to help protect children from household air pollution. First, don't smoke indoors, or don't smoke near children, but ensure that they remain supervised. Indoor smoking is a very serious air pollution. Use clean fuels and technologies to cook, heat, and light your home. Choose electricity, natural gas, liquefied petroleum gas, biogas, solar stove, or ovens instead. 3, use ultra-low emission stoves with processed solid fuels if cleaner options are not available. 4, always cook in a well-ventilated area or outside if it is hard to ventilate your kitchen or cooking area. 5th, avoid using kerosene lamps or kerosene stove for cooking or lighting. 6, don't burn candles indoors. Don't use air freshener, which add toxic chemicals to the air. I have another home-taking message for you. 6 ways to protect children from outdoor air pollution, ambient air pollution. First, stop burning household and agricultural waste. Later, an expert from Malaysia will tell you furthermore scientific evidence. This air pollution caused by burning of the household agriculture waste, how they affect children's health. Second, reduce air pollution caused by vehicle exhaust emission. 3, keep your children healthy. Make sure they are up to date with their immunization. Have healthy diet and plenty of the opportunity to play and the physically active. 4, maintain and improve monitoring system for air pollution. This is a recommendation for the government. 5th, follow with air quality and effects of the air pollution on your children. To know when and then how to take protective measures. This is a recommendation for individuals, also recommendation for the government to provide that information in that city. Finally, raise awareness among your community about the health impact of air pollution and promote policies that reduce air pollution and protect children's health. This is my last slide. I argue, please join us to bring clean air for healthy children, bring clean air for healthier future. You can demonstrate your commitments by signing off by endorse Breathe Life campaign, Clean Air, Healthy Future, which was jointly launched by WHO, Climate Clean Air Coalition, and World Environment Program. Thank you.